The Micro Four Thirds format shares a lot in common with DSLRs, and in many ways, it's kind of an evolution or the next generation. But I think it's important to tell people where they're similar and where they're different at a high level so they have a starting point. Scott, as we look at these cameras, I see they both have removable lenses. In particular, some of the form factors like the GH3 there looks very much like a DSLR body, but there are some inherent differences as well. So let's just walk through a couple of the high-level things that make these cameras different from each other.
The primary difference is that the Micro Four Thirds bodies are going to be much smaller. They're also going to be much lighter because they don't have a pentaprism and a mirror box, and that makes the camera lighter. They do not have an optical viewfinder, which is a really big deal.
And that's where the mirror actually comes in. A lot of people don't, like, why do I have the mirror? Well, because you're actually looking through sort of a periscope view and it hits the mirror and shoots out.
When you're looking through this, you're looking through an electronic representation of what the lens sees. When you're looking through a DSLR, it's through the lens. You're actually seeing what the lens sees. Now, this is kind of important because in the olden days, we had cameras like twin reflex cameras where you'd look through one lens and shoot through another. However, with DSLRs, you're actually looking through the lens, and there is an advantage to that.
Yeah.
There's a disadvantage in that that's all that weight and all the noise created by that mirror.
Oh, you've got that clacking of it opening and closing.
Exactly.
And sometimes actually slower frame rates. I'm amazed at how much faster these cameras can be with recording.
True. The other thing is you get mirror slap. And mirror slap is responsible for a lot of out of focus pictures. Out of focus being that the camera moved, and the mirror flapping, which you can defeat by locking up the mirror, but most people don't know that or don't know how to do it. You don't have that problem with Micro Four Thirds. You just have the lens and the body and then the electronic representation. Now, the disadvantage to the EVF, the electronic viewfinder, is that it's harder to see, frankly, than an optical viewfinder.
And we're going to explore those type of differences in greater depth later in our training title here. But I think what you'll see in general as you look at the Micro Four Thirds camera is that the manufacturers have taken some complementary approaches. I think when I look at the GH3, if you're concerned about having a DSLR form factor because it feels very normal to you, you're going to get that with the GH3. On the other hand, with the OMD, it normally doesn't have a grip. There's an optional grip, or in this case, I have a third-party one. So I get that functionality, but for people who are looking for a planar body or coming from a point-and-shoot world, they've kind of addressed that as well.
There's more stealth in the OMD body than the GH3 body. The GH3 body is a little more traditional, but if we look at them in succession, OMD, GH3, and DSLR, if you're looking for stealth, the Olympus body is the stealthiest. It's the lightest, it's the smallest. If you're one of those people that's concerned that, well, people might not take me seriously because I have a little pretend camera, the GH3 is going to do that for you. And then, of course, some people still are going to want to shoot with DSLRs. But there are many differences we're going to continue to explore throughout the training titles.